One of the underlying things to understand about genuine Christianity is what the figure of Jesus really represents. What you're reading about in the Bible is a being who is teaching people how to live an anarchist lifestyle. How to live with only natural law as a guide and a role model. Jesus was an anarchist. Absolutely was an anarchist. A genuine anarchist. Again, not one of these absolute fake-ass anarchists. I need to do a whole presentation called Fake-Ass Anarchists, and I'm going to. Right? Because let me tell you something, there are so many groups of fake anarchists out there. We have a whole crap load of them right here in the city of Philadelphia. Okay? Who are communists in disguise, posing as anarchists. Preaching Marxism and saying that's anarchy. No, that's called slavery. They haven't figured that out yet. Because they have no long view of history at all. They run screaming if you hold up a history book and say, you might want to check this out. Here's what happened. Jesus was an anarchist who was in open rebellion against all false authority and false doctrine. He taught the spiritual principles encompassed by natural law, the non-aggression principle and the principle of self-defense against the violation of rights. So, he was teaching people the two pillars of enlightenment. He was teaching, don't aggress against others or their rights. But if others do aggress against you or your rights, you have a right to use self-defense of force against that incursion of your rights, against the violation against your rights. In other words, don't be ruled by anyone and do no harm, but take no shit. That is essentially what Jesus was teaching in the New Testament teachings. And no Christian will tell you that. No so-called Christian will tell you that. Oh, one is telling you that right now. I do consider myself an esoteric Christian. However, people who say, oh, I'm Christian, I follow the teachings of the church and I follow the teachings of the Bible, they won't tell you this. They can't even cognize it. They can't even conceive of it. They can't even grasp the fact that Jesus is an anarchist trying to teach people how to live an anarchistic lifestyle and do away with worldly authority and false teaching, false spirituality. They don't even grasp the concept of who the institutions Jesus was at war against, at spiritual combat against. Christians don't even know this, even though it's written right there in their own scripture for them to see. Jesus taught that every human being is born a sovereign being with self-ownership, freedom, and free will. And these virtues are not bestowed upon them by man, but instead are their birthright given by the God of creation. And they're not negotiable. Our rights, our birthright of our rights, our freedom, and our sovereignty are not negotiable. Because they are the birthright of the Creator of the universe, that the Creator of the universe endowed to us. As a result of us simply existing in the universe, they are our birthrights. To be like Christ begins with the possession and exercise of conscience, of true conscience. What this means is possessing the objective knowledge of which behaviors are rights because they don't cause harm to others, which behaviors are wrongs because they do cause harm to others. And then after such knowledge has been integrated into one's being, willfully and in every moment of one's life, making the free will decisions to choose right action over wrong action, using that knowledge, conscience, as a guide. This is the basic moral teachings of Jesus as outlined in the New Testament. And Christians can't even really express that in words. So-called Christians. This basic Christ-like behavior in the world requires and involves zero belief. No belief is required, folks. The real aspect of esoteric Christianity is not a religion. It is a way of being and acting in the world that anyone can align their behavior to, which has absolutely nothing to do with believing things that aren't true, accepting religious dogma, accepting any worldly authority like a church or a state. No belief systems or illusions are required. It's an understanding of law that is in place in the universe and how to align our behavior to that law so that you don't cause harm to yourself and others. That's all it is. See, it's like understanding that the force that we refer to as gravity is in effect. Right? This is why you wouldn't go up on top of a tall building and walk over the edge unless you're a stupid idiot who wants to die. And that's what people who don't want to understand natural law are. They're stupid idiots who want to die and be enslaved before they die. That's really what they are. Okay? They refuse to accept something as simple and fundamental as a force that if they flagrantly attempt to violate it is going to kill them. And natural law is not going to kill them. The consequences that they receive as a result of trying to break natural law is ultimately going to get them. They don't understand the causal factors that create order or chaos, because that is what natural law is. And I'm telling you, I have this discussion with people in the so-called truth movement. I go to meetups, I try to talk to them about it, and they're a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot they don't want to hear about it. They think this is religion. They actually believe what I'm talking about is religion. When I'm outrightly telling them I'm trying to destroy all religion on the face of the earth, because all it does is hold back consciousness. And they will say, oh, that's a belief system. Oh, that comes out of religion. You know, they'll be like, no, there's no such thing. I believe in the physical laws and that's all there is. Because they're atheists who believe in the primacy of matter. And I'm going to get to a whole section on atheism in this presentation, why it's so dangerous, the kind of beliefs it will lead to, and why atheists were shunned from, were turned out from being taught this information in the ancient world. Mystery schools wouldn't even teach them. See, I'm willing to at least put them on the same playing field and give them the information, you know, because they have the intellectual capacity to understand it. The problem is they don't have genuine holistic intelligence. They don't have the heart-based and the spiritual-based mind to comprehend true knowledge. They can crunch numbers all day long. But common sense, that's a little bit different of a story for them.